ask you who made this boat?
Wilson boat is who made this one. My father worked for Wilson. He decided to build a boat, I decided to buy it. Now his family was from Bay Wolves. So he wanted the boat back to like it was when he was a kid.
To wake up in the morning to the quiet of the cove and hear Aunt Bessie talking to herself, and to hear poor Uncle John mumbling wishes to O'Nell, it made me feel like everything was fine. I was born down by the water, it's here I'm gonna stay. I've searched for all the reasons why I should go away, but I haven't got the thirst for all those modern day toys, so I'll just take my chances with those saltwater joys.
Not many can do that, eh? That's a fellow done that for me. Last two I done it myself, eh? It doesn't want to build it there too, though. A lot of work to build that, eh? And that's my other one there. First one I built there, though. First one. We took everybody out for a drive.
Where did you learn to build these ships?
I didn't learn nothing about those. I just come on my own. You can do that yourself if you want to. You build
Really?
one like that if you want to.
Really?
Anybody can do that. If you mind to put their mind to it. Anyone can do that. But only a mind. I never did work on new ships much. I always worked on repair.
In Marystown?
Yeah, Marystown. 33 years I worked down there. Winter and summer.
And what were those ships that you were...
Oh, all kinds. Spaniards, Portuguese, Russians, you name it.
Oh.
Everything. We worked on them all, everything. Whatever come in, we worked on. We had to... Notice how to get a job here at one time. Fish plant was going 24 hours a day. Fish plant, day and night. But now it's all gone. Now there's nothing that way. Don't worry.
There's the moratorium and everything.
Yeah, no, all gone, always. Yeah, there's nothing now.
Have you ever seen a sunrise on the flat Calm Reach? Have you ever seen the magic of a humpback breach? Have you pondered the mysteries of a jellyfish school? Have you waded through the water in a spanny tickle pool? Have you ever seen a morning with 20 shades of grey? Have you peeped at an eagle's nest from 20 feet away? Have you sung with your friends around a big old driftwood fire? Have you floated down across the cove on a tube from a tire? All these things are out there, you don't have to pay. Just open your eyes and you'll be surprised what you see out the bay. Just open your eyes and you'll be surprised what you see out the bay. Or what you see out the bay.
Can you pass me those clamps? Fantastic. We have a number of projects on the go, at least I do anyway, with people building boats in Newfoundland. There's a mentoring program where people choose to build a boat. I'm a naval architect also. So I don't practice that much, but I do draw my own boats. And the boats that these apprentices are building are for my own drawings, which is really fun for me, really good. And so they're punts. So what you're looking at down there is a dory to the left, and to the right is a row punt. I would call her a roll punt versus a Rodney, but so what? To be true to it, if the person who built this boat, Marcus French, calls her a Rodney, I'm going to respect that. Does that mean it's a Rodney to me? Doesn't matter.
You watched your dad do it. He watched his grandfather do it. He watched his grandfather, and that got passed down. And sometimes the jigs remained in use through generations. And you do tend to have the grandsons of the people who built the ones in the 50s are now the ones building the new modern version. It does tend to still follow family lines.
So, my name is Ella, and I'm going to be your guys' tour guide for today. In 1978, we actually had a folklore student from Memorial University in St. John's actually come to Winterton to do his thesis on wooden boat building. While he was here, he interviewed a lot of boat builders here throughout the town, and some of them are actually my relatives. Yeah, so he interviewed my great-great-uncle Eleazar Reed, as well as Marcus French, Herbert Hurnham, Fred P. Hiscock, my great-uncle Wilson, great-great-uncle Reuben there in the corner, my great-grandfather John Reed, and my grandfather Charlie. 4 generations strong.
My name's Jim Dempsey, and I'm the president of the Wooden Boat Museum of Newfoundland and Labrador. Our mandate is to preserve the heritage of wooden boat building in the province. We go to a lot of trade shows, and when we do, we want people to come and visit the museum. We're in the heritage business, but we're in the tourism business as well. But we always bring a boat, and it's always a bit of a magnet. People come over and say, "Oh, look at this." I'll step out into the aisle as people are walking by, and I'll say, "Tell me about the wooden boat in your family." And some people don't have a wooden boat story. A lot of people do. I've been surprised at how often women who are maybe in their 60s or even their 70s will have stories about when they were girls and being out in boats. And they go off for a picnic, or they do something that they thought was a little bit naughty, leaving home and being on their own. It really is a history that people can share. And it's a lot of fun to hear the stories.
What is your first memory in a dory?
Oh, we had a dory for years and years and years back. We always had a dory. We always had them right from that. We used to be rolling around into them when they be long fellas, eh? We had a small punt too, a little punt. Small punt, not very big, eh? Me and my sister used to bring rocks in there. When they built the water for her, we used to go around, and load her up full of rocks. We have a load right full of rocks. And they give us a half a ton for it. And that was 75 cents. That was something like that. It was very much, was it? 75 cents, that's what it was. Oh, geez, I know, boy, that's a long time ago, boy, a long time.
Oh, the bay is my home, 'tis there I long to roam, in a wooden boat that's bound to float on the king upon a throne, with a tumble and a roll, fishing on the shoals, sounds of the seagulls singing, his music to my soul. My thoughts running free, no smell like the salty sea. Time stands still at the side of the hills, puts a peace all over me. At the end of a long hot day.
And that's some of the timbers I had, look. Oh, that's some of the shapes. Oh, that's some of the shapes. Yeah, every tin plate gets different, every one. And when you make that one, you only go for 2, that's all. One on each side. Then you got to make another one, that's per part. Every one, she changes a little bit, eh? Every one. That's the way it's done, eh? And that's the way to do it.
When we went out to cut the timbers, which are the ribs of the boat there, we just went out and looked for the trees that grew with the natural curve. When we would find these trees, we just cut them and shaved them down. You then just cut out whatever shape of timber you would have needed.
That was generally referred to as found timber. Basically, you had an idea of the shapes of knees and ribs, the strength members for your hull. You had an idea of what you needed, and then you, as the builder, would go out in the woods and look for a tree that had an appropriate curve where the roots ran into the trunk. That way, if you're able to harvest that tree, it was much less work and considerably stronger.
You'd be surprised how often you'd find trees around here with an above ground root or growing with the natural curve. The wind, a lot of the times, the trees will just naturally go in the direction the wind blew them. There's tons of them out behind my house. These guys have a ton of different names. They're called make and breaks, one-lungers, putt-putts. One guy actually came in, he said they used to call them start and stops.
Well, they were the heart of the Newfoundland fishery.
Oh yeah, of course they were. Especially when my pop was only a little kid, he could actually tell who was coming into the harbor by the sound of your engines alone. Yeah, the sounds are so distinctive from one another, it was really easy to tell.
That's the oil line right there, look, see? The salt water comes out through there, see? And it goes in through there, see? Oh, well, a lot of people use them now. A lot of people use them. One put it here the other day, a salesman. Well, he offered me $2,000 for that one.
How come you didn't let it go?
Nah, I didn't let it go because I tell you what, you see, I got 3 boys, eh? 3 boys, and I don't need it. If I was only here and I'd be myself and my woman, I'd have sold an engine a lot cheaper than that. Because, but those engines here, later on, my son will take them. And they could be here for the next 50 years, right? And he got a son, perhaps he'll take it. He got a son, young one, you know.
So the engine is like a heritage piece.
Oh yes, I would, no, I wouldn't sell them. I could have gone. Hey, oh yeah, well, you can do what you like with them, eh? I don't care what you do with them, because I won't be around much longer anyway, eh? So you can do what you like with them then, eh? Do what you like with them.
Put me under in my coveralls, old worn leather shoes, a hammer where I can reach it, in case there's not a lot to do. Plant me quietly on the hillside, where the tall green aspens grow, where I can lie and feel them tremble, where the ocean breezes blow. Home, 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 where the winds from off the North Atlantic blow. Be on every boat that's drifting, stand on every rocky reach, see every single sunset, walk on every rocky beach. And I'll shiver in the stillness when the cove is lit by moon, and the quiet is broken sharply by the lonely call of the loon. Home, 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 where the winds from off the North Atlantic blow, where the winds from off the North Atlantic blow.
We're living in a different lifestyle from the old fellas who would go out in the wood and get their own timber. They'd be looking for the right shapes for their knees and frames and stems. And we take care of that through lamination now, okay? Still the same boat, just slightly different materials, and we're not living that lifestyle where we're out cutting wood every day. This year, we're taking a step into a slightly new direction to allow people to build a boat at home, probably in their basement or their garage. So we call it the boat in the box, or the kit boat, or all the parts are prefabricated, pre-cut, and all the builder does is glue them together. This is the first boat that was actually designed completely digitally and cut using a CNC router machine. So it really is a computer boat. And our boat builder, Jerome Canning, he just went back to his model aircraft days and he glued it together.
See, my problem with what I'm doing is that I may get cut here. Okay, so this is a prototype, so part of me is figuring out the sequence of doing this. So I'm sort of talking to myself as I'm talking to you. If I put this down, that means this gets trapped. I think I'm not going to do it. I think I'm just going to screw it.
Accessible, it can be interpreted 2 or 3 different ways. From a building point of view, that an amateur builder who's good with a screwdriver can probably put this together. So that's important. It means that more boats will be produced. For me, more accessible means being able to go on the water. I grew up in a boat like this, and I had my own boat like this when I was 8 years old. And the times we had with that, we'd row to islands and camp and stuff like that. It was tremendous. So that we had a real opportunity to be on the water. And I've been on the water ever since, through my career and now with the Wooden Boat Museum.
While you're building one, the whole sense of what the boat is and where it comes from, actually what you inherit is a lot of tradition, because this boat here, and this is how I look at it, is very ancestral. So actually participating in that, you get a feel for that ancestral sort of history.
I prefer to call this building a heritage boat in the 21st century. And this is a heritage boat, although the design objectives are completely different, it's still a heritage boat. We're using the tools that are available to us to create something that is near and dear to us.
Well, there's a lot of satisfaction, too, to take a pile of lumber and turn it into a lovely watercraft that you can actually trust to take you out and bring you back, and do it with your own hands and your own skills. It's a very satisfying feeling. And if you're putt-putting along close enough that you can sit down and trail your fingers through the water, it's a very different experience, very different. And of course, there's the family connection. You know, my dad was telling me about doing this with my grandfather, and now I can take my son out with me, you know, pass it along, this sort of business.
I've been out fishing with my dad since I was about 8 years old, so like I could tell you so many fishing stories. Probably my first memory was when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. It was all 4 of us out in the boat, me, my dad, my little sister, and my mom. Over towards the horizon, you'd see humpbacks going back and forth, and out of the blue, there's a whole pod of porpoises just going up and down the water. Definitely one of my best fishing memories. Still one of the most beautiful ones I think I've ever seen, because we don't get porpoises very often around here.
I remember the time when my grandpa and I would sit by the fire at night, and I'd listen to stories of how he once lived by the glow of the kerosene light, by the glow of the kerosene light. He said, Mom and Dad sent
Well, a lot of people, they do tend to view their boat, their watercraft. They treat it far more almost like a a floating home rather than an appliance. There's a definite connection there.
So the way that you're building these ships, it's the same way people have been doing it for like,
hundreds of years around here. Hundreds of years around here.
And how long would it take?
I'll 2 years at that big one. 12 hours a day, every day. I wouldn't do it no anymore. And I got no time for nothing. You get up in the morning, you got to wait there, till dark. Next morning, you got to wait till dark again. But you're thinking about it all night, in bed all night. I wonder did I do that right, I wonder, geez, I might have a ship set tomorrow morning, in the night time of bed, thinking about that. By and by, it comes up then, geez, no boy, that's all right, That's pretty good like that, You ought to be thinking, You ought to be thinking.
It's sort of like consumes you. It's
Yeah.
your whole
Yeah, that's right.
non-stop all day. day and night.
That's right. That's what it is, the same building a house, The same building a house. When you want to see my big one now, you'll have a good look at her, I got paint top on it now, and I got paint the house.
What was your reasoning for the colors? Just
Look at on the boat that's on St. John's. Good look, nice, That's what I'm telling you about the stem, no? So you can have a stem out that'll more than that if you wanted to. Or you can have a stem turned up more, It all depends on what you want, Yeah. Let's go aboard, I'll see the cook. I haven't got my flag up yet, I haven't got my flag up. I had to fix this the other day here. So, I got this, See what's in there. Come in. I got my lights. I got all my gear there, see, got all it hooked up, though. All that stuff right there, see. I got my radio on. All that, everything, I got furnace in it. I got the furnace in there. I got furnace there, in there. I got my bathroom there. And go down, but not much room, back here, I come down all the time and have to look around and check it all out and everything. Now, that's my engine there, My engine up there. And all my timbers, don't see them timbers, that's what I'm telling you, No. That's big heavy timbers, I got good timbers in there,
do you remember where you got these?
Well, if I had to tell you where I got them, now you have some marking to do, I'll tell you. I cut 2 or 3 of them everywhere, all over the place, everywhere. 1 and 2, you get 2 or 3, and then you get another 2 or 3, and then you get 2 or 3 more. And nice out here, You'd be surprised, She don't leak too much now. I used to come out here last winter at 4 or 5 o'clock in the night, right here in the morning. Me and Dean come out one night, until 3 o'clock, we come out when Dean went home and checked on it. You got to check on him, everything. No, nothing ever happened, but I'd like to get a check on it.
The sense of place, that's important. And nowhere that I know of has more sense of place than Newfoundland. And so I think this is important. I'd like to think that, as you said, what do you take forward, what do you leave behind? Technology alone allows us to leave other things behind. And so I don't feel too bad about that. Well, it's a compromise that I can live with.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
How still lies the bay in the light western airs which blow from the crimson horizon. In make and break harbor the boats are so few, too many are pulled up and rotten. Most houses stand empty, old nets hung to dry are blown away, lost and forgotten. For we still keep our time to the turn of the tide in this boat that I built with my father. Still lifts to the sky the one lunger and I, still talk like old friends on the water.
She's a rocky isle in the ocean, and she's pounded by wind from the sea. You might think that she's rugged and cold, but she's home, sweet home to me. She's bordered by inlets, tickles and sounds, reaches by coves and by bays. She soothes your vision as you sail round her shores with a mixture of greens, browns and greys. And the houses lie scattered among the rocks in the cove, trimmed with orange, green, yellow and blue. In Twillingate, Fogo and Little Heartsease, Fortune, Trout River and Fermuse. She's a rocky isle in the ocean, and she's pounded by wind from the sea. You might think that she's rugged and cold, but she's home, sweet home to me. The ocean surrounds her, it gives and it takes, like shepherd, lion and lamb. The pounding and grinding is a constant reminding of the forces that follow the calm. From the fury of a blizzard on a cold winter's night to the quiet of a warm summer's day, all hardships forgotten, old debts all repaid, with a day on a quiet, peaceful bay. She's a rocky isle in the ocean, and she's pounded by wind from the sea. You might think that she's rugged and cold, but she's home, sweet home to me. She's a rocky isle in the ocean, and she's pounded by wind from the sea. You might think that she's rugged